And welcome to this week's episode of Magic Bringers Rising for February 20th to the 26th. Now, tune in to the episode today to find out all about how we're going to invoke some harmonious flow this week so that we can really leverage the big Aries energy that's coming this new moon week so that you can stay centered in your loving open heart and ready to manifest your big dreams. Welcome to Magic Bringers Rising Chats, a show by Super Secret Powers. I'm your host, Lindsay Baldessano, and let's get ready for a dose of energy healing, channeled guidance, and humor to keep your intuitive flow open and your roots grounded so you can weave the life of healing, spiritual purpose, and magic that you want. So we have some amazing, amazing energy coming up this week. I mean, we're starting off the week on new moon energy and a Master 11 day, and we have some Venus and Aries action all just on Monday. That is beautiful energy for this kind of deep dive, right? Into what we love and what lights us up and what doesn't light us up, which is going to be important, especially this week. And I'll get back to that because that's not the only Aries energy we have. On Tuesday, we're going to have some pretty kick-ass Mercury energy. And Mercury's home is in Aries, but it's not in Aries yet. But it's going to get us up and it's going to get us moving in that kind of road opening, way showing kind of way, which just kind of leads us up to the 2-day Aries stellium that we're going to have this week. So a stellium is when 4 more planetary bodies are in one house. So Aries. So we're going to have a lot of energy available to us this week just because it's Aries. But that's going to have us, kind of focusing on our determination, our confidence, our courage, our drive, our stamina, our sense of pioneering, and, really beginning a new adventure in February. So, like this whole sense of us having this almost like delayed New Year, and the New Year really kind of starting maybe around Chinese New Year and then like kicking in to gear by now. It just seems to be the flow of the last couple years. Um, and then on Thursday we have Chiron and Saturn doing a little dance. That's the only thing I really think we have to watch out for. So just be careful of overwork. Be careful of thinking you can solve all of your problems um, by totally diving in and rabbit holing it and, letting mania take over. Because it's also going to be like a very sun powered day. So, you're going to have to feel, um, do what you can, but just remember your work balance this week. Remember that life is more than just work or whatever project you're working on or whatever you're looking to kick off. All of that stuff has to fit in with your regular life, so to speak. Um, you still have to find time to do the dishes and the vacuuming and, make sure you have good food and clean clothes for yourself. So, so it's a really like a crazy week of like new moon reflection and then blasting off. So it's a good time to also look at what the green comet did for all of us. I know it certainly brought in people and opportunities I, feel like I've been waiting around for all my life, if that makes sense. um, and so that's developing. I mean, hell, I'm joining, not only joining, but I'm helping found a whole other coven um, on the side of work, on the side of everything else. And it's been a really cool process so far. And I am so looking forward to just letting it unfurl. And of course, that new moon stuff. All right, so things are changing in 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, because we have Saturn going into Pisces for about 2 years. So, it's been about 2 years since the last time Saturn changed and went into Aquarius, where I think we've really been considering a whole other workflow, a whole other response to life, and our obligations in life. I mean, think about it. 2 years ago, um, it's 2023, so that was 2021. So that was, you know, in the middle of the pandemic still. And I think that really, helped set the stage for, the quiet quitting stuff and um, all the difficulties we are having even today in resolving, getting enough people to work at mom and pop places and to keep their jobs. And now, of course, the economy making a lot less jobs available, but now we're entering Pisces. And Pisces, I think, has more of a sense of responsibility behind it than Aquarius energy does. I mean, we're already talking about Saturn moving into it, which is like, you know, the father figure, authoritarian kind of energy, the coach, the phys ed coach, the gym coach, who's like, come on, Peters, do it. But in Pisces, that responsibility kind of shifts to what's going to be good for the collective, what's going to be good for the legacy of generations, what's going to be good for the whole, rather than, how are we going to fix the economy because of, what happened in the last 3 years. Um, but that's going to take a little time to develop, right? It's just starting to shift on, I think it was March 7th, so in less than 2 weeks. So a lot of things are going to be shifting when March comes. So this new moon is really a wonderful time to do some very brave kind of visioning work around, what needs to end in your personal life, in your energy field. What do you need to leave behind as we now enter this new energy phase in 2 weeks, where we're going to have the energy to be able to fix a lot of things, to be able to create a different kind of resolution, problem solving resolution, not disintention resolution. um, so, a little bit more about that whole Saturn and Pisces thing. I mean, the next 2 years, Saturn in Pisces is going to be adding this energy to our lives, to the collective, to uh, any other astrological situation. So this is always going to be there in the background for 2 years. It's going to be about owning your power and owning your responsibility, or as I like to think of it, as owning your own response. Because responsibility doesn't necessarily mean fulfilling an obligation we don't want to do, or, necessarily taking the hard road because that's what, like, maybe the older generation would have advised us to do. It is simply being responsive to the situation at hand. Whether that's saying, like, give me 3 days to think about it, or, I really don't feel comfortable in this situation until certain conditions are met. It's owning your response. And especially when it's in this Pisces energy, we have to be really kind of in touch with our emotions, because Pisces is water, in order for it to, this response that we want to have or that we're building toward, for it to make sense. So we really have to, like, focus on this, um, not just mind, body, soul. I think the Pisces is going to bring forward certainly the emotions of our alignment. And I sound like I'm so froggy right now. Like, oh, my voice is like 2 octaves deeper than it should be. So don't mind me. I'm hearing myself talk and I'm like, whoa. But it also comes with addressing our faults because this is Saturn, and Saturn is always coaching us into something or other. So our faults are the places where we're hiding from our power or our responsibility. And that can certainly look like addiction, denial, avoidance, all those places in which we choose to remain stuck or stuck in an unhealthy pattern for one reason or another because we don't think we're enough to handle this stuff. And unfortunately, unfortunately, truth of the situation is these things usually resolve themselves in one way or the other. Either we kind of consciously wake up and one day we see the pattern and we know it can't exist anymore, like it's just not good, it's not us, it's not what we want, and so it's done. Or we kind of drag our heels and we have to come to some sort of healing crisis or rock bottom kind of moment. I mean, this year I expect a little bit of both. Maybe not for like any one particular person, but on the collective, I certainly do expect to see like the whole spectrum of people being asked to change, whether it's, in a more conscious way where you just awaken to the pattern or whether it's, not. So I, whether they, they drag their heels and they think they can't do it until the minute that they have to do it no matter what. Um, So, I mean, this is certainly a year where coaches and healers and, the whole gamut of metaphysical practitioners is going to be very much needed because of that level of healing that 2023 is, asking us to consider. So, have faith and hold a lot of compassion for the people around you because shit's going down. Shit's going down this year. And because Saturn in Pisces, Pisces being water, any kind of beautiful, watery, emotional kind of medicine and practices might come to the forefront for you or might be very beneficial to help balance out this kind of change. So, any kind of water healing, whether it's intaking water or just, connecting with water or swimming or hot tubbing, all that kind of stuff, exploring new things and places, being that fish out of water, and new perspectives, allowing you to enter into something you might be familiar with, but from a different perspective entirely. So, finding also then the right teachers who are going to help foster that new perspective for you. Um, Wonder seeking and curiosity, I think, will get you a lot farther because it's going to, it's going to touch that heart watery stuff and vision quest, dream questing and visioning, because water, like scrying, like staring into the bowl and seeing what you know comes forth from the subconscious. All right, and today we're being visited by my cat who decided that she needed to scratch my chair while I was doing this. um I don't have too much for you today, just that I do have 2 slots open for private one-to-ones, for um, flowing with your intuition for your this is for people who have some kind of ability, whether it's empathy or intuitive empathy or any kind of intuitive gift like clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience. I don't think I said clairsentience twice. But who need either some knowledge filling in how this works and or in how this is working for you, because I am an excellent energy reader. I can look at you, I can hear your words, I can see where the energy is going and where you might just need a slight little course correction, and can certainly help you get there. Or um or if you just need somebody who's going to be there to hold space for you while you work out how you're working with your gift or with your ability, because you're not meant to suffer with this and you're not meant to stay in this place of confusion and mistrust with your gifts. And the deeper you can go with this within yourself, the more you're going to be able to embrace yourself and your power and your capability. Even if you don't use it professionally, your abilities are, they're just another way your soul is speaking to you. And the better you can get that, and the better you can hear that, and be with that, and embrace that, and embody that, well, I mean, your whole life changes. Not in ways you don't want, of course, but it's because your whole energy changes. It's because you get a better sense of perspective. You get a better tuning into your own innate wisdom. And the clearer you get, the easier it gets to make the aligned choices you want to make in life. But I have 2 slots open for that. Please just book a single session at first. We'll get to know each other. We'll see if working together is right for us. And, we'll go from there. And of course, sign up for the wait list, because I do want to grow all of this into a Grow with Your Intuition community, where we do ritual together, where we howl at the full moon, and we do, card slings on the new moon and help us build intentions and healing. But there's also a huge library that I'm currently working on getting prepared for you, all about how to live with your intuition and how to live with your empathy. And there's going to be Q&A calls where we can talk about our dreams, or what experiences came up and how that might relate back to us growing with our intuition in a beautiful sisterhood, and not just with some chick that you met on the internet. Purple hair. Anyway, today's light language is going to be all about harmonious flow, to kind of like even out some of that Aries, um, possibly chaotic energy. I'm Aries, I get it. We don't always like come across as, um, easy to trust sometimes, or stable to some of the other signs, because we're like, fire, ideas, let's go do it. Oh, anyway, on to light language. So, like I said, today's light language is all about, maybe not all about, Lindsay would like to bring in a little bit of the energy behind harmonious flow, just because I know the fire of Aries can be a little unsettling to people, and we're having the stellium this week, so you know, let's just see if we can ease into some of this Aries fire. The guides might have to say, in the Ascendant Masters and, our other spiritual allies, uh, we'll see what they have to say. Because I don't know. I don't know. I know what I think and feel makes sense, but I don't always know what they're going to want to say to you. So it is what it is. But we are starting this healing with a 528, so heart, a little bit of heart opening, a little bit of heart rebalancing. So if you want to continue that work throughout this week, just hop on YouTube and type in 528 hertz, and see what video also pops up for you that is good. And just breathe into it. And Council of Light would like to acknowledge and like to remind you that you are the controller of your experiences, that no matter what you see envisioning, no matter what downloads are given and how you feel, the excitement in that moment of receiving that vision, that it is your responsibility and privilege to recreate, to tune back into those very specific feelings and vibrations and energetic states when you are then seeking to begin work, your physical 3D work toward that vision. So whether it comes across as a course or a podcast or some other format of work, the real work, the job behind the light working, is merely to tap into those states in which you felt that excitement and joy and clarity of purpose. It is the demonstration of how that energy works to others, no matter how you use your words, whether it is in coaching or healing or the setting up of a sound session or a podcast or a writing. It does not necessarily matter how it appears in the world, only that you express the joy that you have felt with us. That is the work, that is the job of the light worker, of the witch, of those seeking to embody those feelings of healing, transcendence, and wholeness, and consciousness in the moment. And we bless these Aries, as you would say, energies, as they come into your life this week, as they visit and bring their gifts. For there is profound joy in discovering and rediscovering and realigning and feeling what brings you excitement. That level of clarity, of acting without thinking, of being fully possessed in the moment by your feelings for something. That is alignment, that is vortex, that is zero energy, that is you being your whole multitude of lives and selves and layers and collectives. Relish in that joy this week. Oh. Short but profound, huh? Do I feel like multiple layers shifting? Still. That actually might take a few re-listens. Um, Revisiting of that feeling of, I don't know, opening. Opening between the heart space, just below the heart, and the solar plexus. Very juicy. Anyway, please like, share, follow all of this because this is amazing. And as we come into this next month, where we are seeing some very new energies for our own life and lifetimes, because Pluto is going to do a shift that it hasn't done in like 240 years. Don't quote me on the number, but it's close to that. We're bringing in a whole new generation of people whom we're going to be the elders for. Spicy stuff. Anyway, follow, share super secret powers. Please join my Magic Bringers Rising community where we are having some very good and deep discussions all about our intuition. And, join the waitlist for the Grow Your Intuition community. And of course, if you feel the connection, if you feel this is the time that you need to really embrace your intuitive gifts, your intuitive self, your higher self, and begin to embody that, please find the link in the show notes, to book a session with me for a flow with your intuition session, and we'll see if a package is right for you or not for one-to-one work to make this your time of joyful awakening instead of dragging your heels healing crisis, right? No, it's not that bad. Anyway, love you all, and I'll see you next week unless you're in the Magic Bringers Rising Facebook group.